Alaska Revealed, where USA keeps its wildest nature. Alaska, America's last frontier. Imagine a place where a single state is bigger than the 21 smallest U.S. states combined. Alaska, 25 places where nature still makes the rules, where glaciers the size of cities calve into the ocean, where bears outnumber people, where the sky itself catches fire. But first, a question. What would you do if you saw a grizzly bear catch a salmon 10 feet from you? Comment your answer below, because in the next 24 minutes, you're going to see why Alaska isn't just America's largest state, it's America's wildest. And one of these places holds a secret that NASA uses to study other planets. This is Alaska Revealed. Before we explore Alaska's wildest places, if you love epic nature documentaries like this, hit subscribe. We drop a new destination every single week. Now let's go to Alaska. Part 1, Southeast, the Inside Passage. We begin in Southeast Alaska, a maze of islands, glaciers, and fjords so complex that it has more coastline than the entire west coast of the United States. 1. Glacier Bay National Park, the Ice Cathedral. Glacier Bay, a park so remote there are no roads in or out, only boats and planes. Here, 16 tidewater glaciers flow from mountains to sea. Marjorie Glacier alone is 250 feet tall, as high as a 20-story building. And when it calves, when chunks of ice the size of houses crash into the ocean, the sound travels for miles. This bay didn't even exist 200 years ago. It was buried under 4,000 feet of ice. Now the glaciers are retreating so fast that scientists use Glacier Bay as a time machine, watching in decades what normally takes millennia. 2. Mendenhall Glacier, the accessible giant. Mendenhall, one of the few glaciers in the world you can reach by road. 13 miles long, flowing from the Juneau ice field, a 1,500 square mile ocean of ice. You can walk beneath it in ice caves, where light filters through the ceiling in electric blue. But Mendenhall is dying. It's retreated 2.5 miles since 1750. In 50 years, it might not reach the lake anymore. You're watching extinction in real time. 3. Tracy Arm Fjord, the narrow passage. Tracy Arm, a fjord so narrow, so deep, so dramatic that it makes Norway jealous. Walls of granite rise 3,000 feet straight from the water. Harbor seals rest on icebergs. And at the end, 2 glaciers, Sawyer and South Sawyer, calve ice into water so blue it looks artificial. The fjord was carved by glaciers during the last ice age. What took 100,000 years to create, we can boat through in 4 hours. 4. Misty Fjords National Monument, the Untouched. Misty Fjords, 2.3 million acres of wilderness. No roads, no trails, no towns. Just fjords carved 3,000 feet deep, waterfalls cascading from granite cliffs, and silence so absolute you can hear fish jumping. The Tlingit people have lived here for 10,000 years. To them, this isn't wilderness, it's home. To the rest of us, it's one of the last places on Earth that humans haven't tried to improve. 5. Sitka Sound, where Russia once ruled. Sitka, once the capital of Russian America before the U.S. bought Alaska for $7.2 million in 1867. Behind the town, Mount Edgecumbe, a volcano so perfectly shaped it's called Alaska's Mount Fuji. Last erupted 4,500 years ago, still active. Sea otters float on their backs in the sound. Humpback whales breach in the harbor. And on rare clear days, you can see 18 other volcanoes on the horizon. This is where Russia met Alaska. and lost. 6. Admiralty Island, Bear Fortress, Admiralty Island. The Tlingit call it Kutsnuwu, Fortress of the Bears. Why? Because this single island has more brown bears than the entire lower 48 states combined. An estimated 1,600 bears, one bear per square mile. The Tongass National Forest covers 90% of it, the largest intact temperate rainforest in North America. Trees over 800 years old, some so massive 4 people can't wrap their arms around them. This island is what America looked like before humans arrived. 7th, Juneau, capital with no roads, Juneau, Alaska's capital. Population 32,000. And here's the weird part. There are no roads connecting it to the rest of North America. You can only reach it by boat or plane. Why build a capital here? Gold. In the 1880s, this was one of the richest gold mining districts in the world. The mines closed in 1944, but the glaciers remain. 3 glaciers visible from downtown, 38 surrounding the city. 8. Haines, where eagles gather. Every November, 3,000 bald eagles descend on a 5-mile stretch of the Chilkat River near Haines. 3,000. That's more bald eagles in one place than anywhere else on Earth. They come for late salmon runs. The river stays ice-free longer here due to warm springs, so salmon spawn into December. The eagles know. They've been coming for thousands of years, America's symbol, in Alaska's greatest gathering. 9. Tongass National Forest, the Rainforest, Tongass, 16.7 million acres, the largest national forest in the United States. This is temperate rainforest, receiving over 200 inches of rain per year in some places. Sitka spruce, western hemlock, and red cedar grow so large they create their own ecosystem in their canopy. The forest stores more carbon than any other national forest in America. It's called North America's lungs. When you breathe easier, thank Tongass. 10. Ketchikan, Totem Pole capital, Ketchikan, the first stop for cruise ships entering Alaska. Known as the salmon capital of the world and the totem pole capital. Over 80 standing totem poles, some over 100 years old, carved by Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian peoples. These aren't decorations, they're history books. Each tells a story of clans, of legends, of events. Some poles are as tall as 5-story buildings. This is Alaska remembering. 11. Petersburg, Little Norway, Petersburg, founded by Norwegian fishermen in 1897, and it shows. Norwegian flags, rosemailing painted on buildings, Sons of Norway Hall. Even the bakery makes lefse. But Petersburg's real claim, it's the gateway to LeConte Glacier, the southernmost tidewater glacier in the northern hemisphere. The glacier creates so many icebergs that the bay looks like a frozen obstacle course. 12. Wrangell, oldest town, Wrangell, the only Alaskan town to exist under 4 flags, Tlingit, Russian, British, and American. At the mouth of the Steichen River, where one of North America's largest salmon runs happens every spring. So many fish that the river looks like it's boiling. And near town, petroglyphs, rock carvings, over 8,000 years old. We don't know who carved them or why, but they're still here, watching the tides. Going north. But southeast Alaska, the fjords, the glaciers, the rainforest, is only the beginning. Because heading north, the landscape changes completely. It gets colder, drier, higher, and wilder. Part 2. Interior, Denali and the Wild Heart. Where the highest mountain in North America rises from tundra, where winter temperatures hit -60 degrees Fahrenheit, where caribou migrate in herds of 200,000. This is the Alaska most people imagine, and it's even more extreme than they think. 13. Denali, the Great One. Denali. In the Athabascan language, it means the Great One, 20,310 feet tall, the highest peak in North America. And here's what makes it more impressive than Everest. Denali rises from just 2,000 feet of elevation. Everest rises from 14,000 feet. That means Denali's vertical relief, the distance from base to summit, is 18,000 feet. One of the greatest on Earth. Only 50% of climbers who attempt it reach the summit. The weather is so severe that storms can trap climbers for weeks. Denali creates its own weather systems. The mountain is so massive it's visible from 200 miles away. But Denali isn't the only giant here. 14. Denali National Park, 6 million acres. Denali National Park, 6 million acres. Larger than New Hampshire. One road, 92 miles long. That's it. Why so few roads? Because this park was designed for wildlife, not humans. Grizzly bears, wolves, caribou, moose, Dall sheep, they have the right of way. There are no guardrails, no gas stations, no cell service. If you break down, you wait. If you see a bear, you back up. The park makes one thing clear: you're a visitor. This is their home. 15. Wonder Lake, the Reflection. Mile 85 of the park road, Wonder Lake. On clear days, about 30% of summer, Denali reflects perfectly in the water. The mountain is 27 miles away but looks close enough to touch. Photographers wait days for this shot. The conditions have to be perfect. No wind, no clouds, golden light. When it happens, it's the most photographed view in Alaska. 16. Polychrome Pass, Rainbow Mountains, Polychrome Pass, where the Alaska Range reveals its volcanic past. Layers of red, orange, yellow, and green volcanic rock oxidized over millions of years. The colors are so vivid it looks painted. This is where the park road reaches its highest point, 3,700 feet. The views stretch 50 miles in every direction. Tundra, mountains, no trees, just earth and sky. 17. Savage River, Caribou Crossings, Savage River, where the Denali caribou herd crosses during migration. These caribou travel over 400 miles per year, following ancient routes. In spring, they move north to calving grounds. In fall, they return south. Nobody tells them the route, they just know. Their ancestors walked this path for 10,000 years, and they still do. 18. Eielson Visitor Center, The View, Mile 66, Eielson Visitor Center, built specifically for one purpose, to view Denali. The mountain is only 33 miles away here, the closest road access. On clear days, the peak towers 15,000 feet above you. You can see avalanches slide down the Wickersham Wall. You can watch clouds form on the summit. And on cloudy days, you see nothing. The mountain vanishes. Welcome to Alaska. 19. Fairbanks, Golden Heart City. Fairbanks, Alaska's second largest city, population 32,000. This city lives in extremes. In summer, the sun never fully sets, 21 hours of daylight in June. In winter, it barely rises, less than 4 hours in December. And in winter, Fairbanks becomes the Northern Lights capital of Alaska. You have a 90% chance of seeing aurora on a clear night between September and March. Why here? Fairbanks sits directly under the aurora oval, the ring where Earth's magnetic field funnels solar particles. 20. Chena Hot Springs, Fire and Ice, 60 miles northeast of Fairbanks. Chena Hot Springs. You can soak in 106 degrees Fahrenheit water while the air around you is minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Steam rises so thick you can barely see the person next to you. But the real magic happens at night. You're in the hot springs, warm water, freezing air, and above you, the northern lights dance in green, purple, and red. The resort even built an ice museum kept at 25 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, powered entirely by the geothermal energy. Ice sculptures lit by LED lights, fire heating ice. 40 places, America's last true wilderness. But first, if you want to see the world's most extreme destinations every single week, subscribe now. Because next week, we're going somewhere even more extreme. 21st Arctic Circle, the Invisible Line. The Dalton Highway, mile 115, the Arctic Circle. An invisible line at 66 degrees 33 minutes north, where, on summer solstice, the sun never sets. On winter solstice, it never rises. This highway is one of the most remote roads in America, 414 miles from Fairbanks to Deadhorse on the Arctic Ocean. No services for 240 miles, no cell towers, no gas stations. Truckers call it the Haul Road. They supply the oil fields at Prudhoe Bay. If you break down, you might wait days for help. 22nd, Gates of the Arctic National Park, true wilderness. Gates of the Arctic, 8.4 million acres, larger than Belgium. No roads, no trails, no cabins, no visitor center. You're dropped by bush plane and picked up days later, if the weather allows. This is the second largest national park in the U.S., and fewer than 10,000 people visit per year. Most national parks get that many in a single day. Why so few? Because this park doesn't compromise. No facilities means no support. You're on your own. The park preserves one thing: wildness. And in that wildness, grizzlies, wolves, caribou, wolverines, living exactly as they did 10,000 years ago. 23rd, Yukon River, the Lifeline. The Yukon, 1,980 miles long, the third longest river in North America. For thousands of years, this river was Alaska's highway. Native peoples traveled it in canoes and kayaks. Russian traders used it. Gold rush miners paddled it. Today, villages along the Yukon still depend on it. Salmon runs feed communities. The river brings supplies in summer. In winter, it becomes an ice road. The Yukon flows through 2 countries and 3 time zones, and it's still wild. 24. Coldfoot, coldest name, Coldfoot, population 10. This town exists for one reason. It's the last stop for truckers before the Arctic. Last gas, last food, last warm bed for 240 miles. The name comes from gold rush miners who got this far north, then got cold feet and turned back. In winter, temperatures hit minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun doesn't rise for 67 days, but Coldfoot stays open. Because the truckers still come, the oil still flows north. 25. Brooks Range, the Arctic Divide. The Brooks Range, 700 miles of mountains stretching across northern Alaska. This range divides the state. South of it, rivers flow to the Pacific. North of it, rivers flow to the Arctic Ocean. Mount Isto, the highest peak, rises to 8,976 feet. The range is so remote that several peaks still don't have official names. The Brooks Range creates Alaska's weather. It blocks warm Pacific air from reaching the Arctic. It's why northern Alaska is tundra, not forest. Conclusion: why Alaska matters. Glaciers that create icebergs, bears that catch salmon mid-air, volcanoes that explode beneath ice, northern lights that paint the sky, rivers that flow for 2,000 miles, mountains that create their own weather. Alaska isn't just America's largest state, it's America's wildest laboratory, the place where nature still runs the show. Every year, glaciers retreat. Every decade, permafrost melts. Every generation, the landscape changes. Alaska is writing its own future, and we're here to witness it. The lower 48 has 330 million people. Alaska has 730,000. That means for every person in Alaska, there's an acre of wilderness. No other state can say that. No other place in America feels this untouched. And maybe that's Alaska's real superpower. Not size, not wildlife, not glaciers or volcanoes. Space. The space to be wild, the space to be small, the space to remember that humans are just visitors on a planet that doesn't need us. So, back to the opening question. What would you do in Alaska? Comment your answer below. Glacier hiking, bear watching, northern lights, or all of it? If Alaska left you wanting more, subscribe to Travel Earth Adventures. Every week we explore another place that refuses to play by the rules. Next week, Alaska Revealed. Part 2, Coasts and Islands and Volcanoes. I'm Travel Earth Adventures, and this was Alaska, America's last true wilderness.